They find it funny when I'm down to my zeros, trying to pick it up, I've been down with Lamino. Hey, it's been a real long life. Need to push up and I'm shining till the end of the night. Abanga saka la stupega, spusu la stupega. But I kept on that new cheddar, who better? All I know, it's been a real long road. For the same damn reasons, I'll be down to the floor. And a steady grind in the land of the rumble. Tell you it's a war in the concrete jungle. Agukolula, Agukolula. And a steady grind in the land of the rumble. Tell you it's a war in the concrete jungle. Agukolula, Agukolula. Abangani bahleba ngami, obahleka amaphutha ami. Mhlaba wazi inhlupheko zami, mina ngizofela amaphupho ami. Ngizofela amaphupho ami, ngizofela amaphupho ami, ngizofela amaphupho ami, ngizofela amaphupho ami. So many snakes that be hissing in my space, and so many people.
A very good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Trends. If you're looking for all that's been trending in the art and entertainment scenes, then you've come to the right place. I'm Selepa Maifadi, and for the next 60 minutes, I'll be getting you up to speed with all the stories that have been trending in Mzansi streets. A lot has happened this week. Mzansi's hip-hop industry took a blow with the sad news of the passing of hip-hop legend Pro Kid. But on today's show, we will be highlighting women in music. We kickstarted our Women's Day special with rapper Gigi Lemaine, who's here to tell us about the first ever female hip-hop concert. Do follow us and interact with us on @Trendz on SABC. We look forward to your views. Messages of condolences continue to pour in for the late hip-hop star Linda Mkhize, popularly known as Pro Kid. The 37-year-old rapper died on Wednesday after suffering a severe seizure while visiting a friend in Johannesburg.
Sure. That number one, so we're too poor. Sure. Tears. But why is it donkeys on?
Born in 1981 in Soweto, Pro Kid started his music career in the early 2000s. As MC, he rhymed in English and vernacular and proudly represented Gussie culture. In 2005, he released his first album titled Head and Tails under Gallo Records. He went on and released 4 more albums which hit the #1 spot in the music charts. He's considered to be one of the pioneers of hip-hop in South Africa. Pro Kid will be remembered for his contribution in the music industry. The rapper worked with various producers and rappers including D-Planet, Amu, Nyams, Omen and Drastic Dome. May his soul rest in peace.
Yes, Nina, government condoms and Nina choice.
Now let's take a look at some of the messages of condolences that were posted on Twitter from fans as well as other musicians after they heard the news of his passing. The first one goes out to Proverb, where he says he's praying the news is not true. But if it is, then my brother, I wish you safe passage into heaven. You were indeed a pioneer, a legend, and one incredible MC. For the record, I never considered you a pro kid, but rather a pro king. And he says hashtag RIP Pro Kid, RIP Pro, RIP Linda Mkhize. And the other one is from AKA, where he actually posted about a moment that they had, and he says that number one Soweto boy. Altito posted something and said, last time I saw Pro Kid was a couple of months back. Me, him, and AKA had a freestyle cypher for about 2 hours, and that he will cherish that moment forever. And AKA was asking, why didn't they actually record it? And then another person who goes by AK Breezy says, R.I.P. Pro Kid, you'll forever be missed. You were hip hop, and we'll miss your verses, and you were such an inspirational. And Spamandla Mfuzi says Pro Kid Umfutu featuring Bricks is probably one of his favorite songs. He says this track will always remind me of you, the passion and respect Pro had for the hip hop. R.I.P. number one Soweto boy, you have done your part in the industry, giving us your unique style. Well, there are many more tributes that are pouring out on social media under hashtag RIP ProKid. Well, do go out there and check it out. And we are also sending our condolences from our Trendz team. Well, British actor Idris Elba is the number one contender to replace Daniel Craig as James Bond. The actor has in recent years been repeatedly linked to the role. He is one of a number of big name stars to have been linked with replacing Craig as Bond.
Forensics finally released this.
What is it?
Personal effects they recovered from Skyfall. You've got a secret.
Movie boss Barbara Broccoli has expressed her views, saying it's time for a non-white star to play the 007 role. But Elba is not the only A-lister gunning for the British spy role.
The world needs to know what happened and to know what he stands for.
Henry Cavill, who plays Superman in DC Comics superhero film, is also keen on taking on the task. In 2006, it was down to Cavill and Craig, but Craig won, as the film producers felt Cavill was too young. Mission Impossible star Tom Cruise has also set his sights on the role.
Be their hero, Clark. Be their angel. Be their mom.
Well, Hollywood is angered by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences decision to add a new category for popular film, which many feel is an insult.
If I told you about her, the princess without voice, what would I say?
The Shape of Water took the Best Picture award at this year's ceremony, which spurred further criticism of the Academy, as people believe winning films should be ones that people actually go out and watch, rather than obscure titles such as this one. The revelation opens a doorway for films like Black Panther, Mission Impossible and Mamma Mia to be recognized at the ceremony come February next year. But the addition of the Outstanding Achievement in Popular Film category does not sit well with the fans. They feel insulted that the films people love are not worthy of the top honor.
You don't think that's what the Lord looks like?
Empire star Taraji P. Henson denied reports that she would be coming to South Africa this week. Henson was one of the keynote speakers at the International Women in Media Conference that is scheduled next month. But the actress claims she knows nothing about the event.
Conference organizers 21st Media Group released a statement saying they are in possession of 3 contracts, proof of payment and direct emails between the group, Superstar Agency and 42 West PR. The matter has been handed over to Superstar Agency's New York legal team to determine whether the blunder was due to miscommunication or deliberate breach of contract. TV personality Bonang Mateba, who was announced as the MC, has since withdrawn from the conference, saying she received no clarity on the matter.
Well, we have Gigi Lemaine on standby. She's on the couch, ready to have an interview with us about this concert, all-female concert that's going to be hitting our shows soon in September. But for now, we're going to take it to break with Pro Kid's song Pressa Pusha Panda.
Pro TS09 Snakes and Letters. I've had some, from where we started to where we are now, Total reception in a warm, cold fade. All that shit. And then there's a question. How do you murder a track? Greedy pepper self-waza. Ngiyabholpena sayithenga esiphaza. But siyachansa ngafuna ukubhamuza ishashaza. Solution ukuthi sibheshe sisungathi siyabhanja. Faka umoya, let's get up and go. Isikhathi sokuhamba sivele siziblanele. Senze izinto ngendlela efanele. Kumele sihlome sihlasele sihlabe ngedolo sikhalele. Life inokusitaka le ndlela engamebi kuhlahlele. Shaya ichene nesiphambano le you will spanel. I-fitness ikwenye level. Phela bekukhuphukela. Mina ngirenga ivar 99 mina ngisaphunyukelwa. Grapes and chow, state of mind sazohlutshukelwa. Money on my mind all the time, no mabankhumulela. When I push up panda, push up panda. Legelo lokuziphatha isikhanda, bantu banothe bonke bazokuthanda.
The story of Guachu is a microcosm of the problems that continue to plague land reform, where the challenges of redistribution, restitution and security of tenure include not only addressing past injustices and making farms productive, but reclaiming identity.
I had, this belief that this is our government. Definitely, they will do whatever they can do for us to change our lives. But unfortunately, I think I was just naive.
It is the government of South Africa that is owning this land, and it is that government that is denying these people.
I always say entrepreneurship are those that see opportunities where others don't.
You can't give me a bad deal. You can't cheat me. Because I'll read my own contract. I know what's going on in my contract. But I've never been afraid of a challenge. I'm one of those people.
I didn't know the difference between my money and the business money. Whatever money that came in used to be your money. You'd go shopping, driving all these cars, and we were forgetting to pay creditors.
If we're more diligent with how we utilize our money. So the great thing with this and my other job, being an advocate, is that in both industries, I sort of own my time.
Today, we're doing inner city buildings, we're doing commercial projects, and we're doing property development even within the township scale, and even now going to the extent of now even establishing offices in the States to be able to raise capital to invest in Africa.
Keep it locked to Bupilong every Saturday at 5:30.
We cried, looking at the sky, hoping that God would see us and cry. 'Cause we are asking for Pula. We are asking for Pula down our shoulders. I telegrammed the clouds, begged her to conspire against the sun to disguise my pain, tears as rain. In the summer dawn, it was winter in my heart. Curled toes and frozen mucus on the doors of my nose, and how I wished I telegrammed first mail, crying for Pula. Crying for Pula down our shoulders. But I smiled as her skin darkened and her flaunting hips applauded by thunderstorms. I smiled as I was about to see God cry on my behalf.
Wow. That amazing performance is by Mo Africa, and she is part of the lineup of the 6th annual Vavasati Festival that's currently taking place at the State Theatre in Pretoria. We will be speaking to her a bit shortly. The story of Fezekile Tugela, also known as Kwezi, has been relived in a theatre production that is showcased at the State Theatre in Pretoria. Kwezi was reportedly raped by former President Jacob Zuma in 2005 at his house in Forest Town in Johannesburg. Adapted from a book written by Redi Tlabi, this play is directed by multi-award winning playwright and director Nabo Mashani. Take a look.
This production is based on real-life events. The play seeks to depict the life of Kwezi as a child till her passing.
My mother, oh beautiful
She grew up in exile as part of a communal village of aunts and uncles who fought an evil system. Nabo Mashiane says she felt the need to breathe life into the story by reintroducing it to the people.
Kwezi, say my name, is a theatre adaptation of a book, amazing book, written by Redi Tlabi, titled Kwezi, The Remarkable Story of Fezekile Tsukela Kuzwayo. I was drawn to the book because I was a young feminist when the case happened. My voice was not yet firm or strong. I was still trying to find, what kind of artistic voice I want to be as a woman. And, fast forward when the book came out and I read it, it took me back. But also I knew as a woman that there are so many Kwezis out there, because Kwezi was never her real name, who are still experiencing sexual violence and abuse behind closed doors. There's a lot of corrective rapes, among my community. And I felt like as a storyteller, it's very important for me in the contemporary South African theatre industry to bring to light these issues. And the work of theatre is really to reflect society.
Malunga Ivan, tell me again what Delhi is like.
Another two of Malunga were killed in a blood battle with the police back in Soweto.
Kwezi was in a quest to know about her father, Judson Kuzwayo, and to preserve his political life story. All she wanted was to know more about her father, who she last had a relationship with when she was a child. While on her journey to know about her father, she ends up in Forest Town, where she is raped by her father's former best friend.
What we're going through in society today, our sisters, our mothers, our grandmothers, the rapes, the abuse. We've been talking about that on social media everywhere around the world. I think what I'm taking now is that the message needs to go out there even more. We need to sort of have that message and education to the public, to our men, to our women, in terms of how to treat each other, but in terms of being honest, but also just hands off, and I think the most important message here is hands off, but also the biggest thing is her story, because her name was sort of taken away, and this play really says, can we actually really claim her name back? And actually not just about her, but all women in Africa, all women in South Africa, all women around the world that have been sort of abused and their worth has been taken away. It's time to really claim their names back.
Without you, it's been 2 years, Baba. Tears, Baba. Tears, Baba.
The play includes elements of music, dance, and poetry, while also portraying scenes of rape.
My life.
That was a very powerful production. do go see it at the State Theatre. Well, the Extra Cold Unlock concert series is at it again. This time around, they're celebrating the women in hip-hop with a musical experience that will highlight the role females have played in the evolution of hip-hop over time. Hip-Hop Her Story will be hosted at the Gallagher Convention Center in Midrand on the 8th of September and will feature international acts such as Angela Yee of the Breakfast Club and rappers Roxanne Shante and Young Ma. This concert will also have our queens on stage, of course, and joining us in studio to speak about this amazing event is rapper Gigi Lemaine. Welcome to Trendz.
So excited to be here. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Awesome.
Well, babe, I wanted to ask you about how excited you are that there is a first ever female hip-hop concert coming to South Africa. How do you feel about it?
Well, we've been trending for the past 3 days, I think. So everyone is talking about it. This is the first time that local female acts are on it. You know, myself, Nadia Nakai, Rouge, Nomuzi, Fifi Cooper. There's so many of us for the very first time. And Young MA is a big deal. Angela has put so many people on internationally. So we're really, really excited. And I know everyone is working super, super hard. So shout out to Cast the Light for that, man.
And tell us a bit about what you think of the space of hip-hop and really what females are doing to influence the genre. Do you think you guys are getting to a level that we can take away the whole female rapper, or is it something that you guys want to keep?
You know, I guess it will always be embedded into our identities that we are female. But we always say, and at least I know I always say, I'm just a rapper who happens to be female. And because of that, I do have an obligation to society to be able to tell the story of a young black female in the South African context. And I think that's exactly what everybody is, gunning for. So although, it's a bit tedious now that everyone still says female rapper, it is part of our identity, and I think that just makes us twice as strong. People always say we work twice as hard to get half of what they have, and I think we've shown that. And to be honest, 2018 seems like the year of the female, so yeah.
Speaking about 2018, I mean, last time you came to Trendz, you were still signed on to Mabala Noise. Yeah. And now you're part of Ambitious. Tell us about the transition and how it's been for you, and really where you're taking your brand.
So really, right now, I'm super, happy to be signed with Ambitious. I think creatively, it's been good for me. I think the music that's being produced now is probably, not to say the optimist of what I can do, but definitely the starting bit. We're releasing the album in November, courtesy of Ambitious, and I can finally, have creative control over that, whereas in the past I really couldn't. I'm able to be myself, do the hairstyles I want to do, brand myself the way I want to brand myself, and produce the music I want to produce. And I mean, with the EP, it's done super, super well. We're top 50 in the country, and that's the first for females with an EP, and the album hasn't even dropped. So shout out to everyone who worked on it.
So for this album that's coming, who are you working with? Tell us a bit about some of the collaborations we can expect.
Sure, so it's like multi-genres. For sure, you guys can expect to hear a collaboration with myself and Nomuzi. I'm hoping to get more of the girls on it. There's a certain big deal for house music. She's female and she's also going to be on there. We're going to try and do something crazy on that. And of course, guys on the come up, Eminent Fam, they had a song out with El Tito called Imoto, and they were on the EP, so people can also expect them on the album. We will be working with artists in-house, but I am definitely also looking forward to working with people outside of the label.
Anyone from Africa, well, more from into the continent that
you
want to work with?
Yes, how could I forget? Cleo Ice Queen, she's from Zambia. She had a song out way back. She was on Big Brother, as well as Ecstatic. She had a song way back as well with AKA. So the three of us are going to be on a joint. It's going to be crazy. We're doing it for females in Africa.
Well, this week, it's been a bit heavy, especially on Women's Day, because that's when we all woke up to the news of the passing of Pro Kid, and already there are articles that are out saying that you've worked with him because you worked with him at Mabala Noise. How was that for you?
So not even Mabala Noise. Pro Kid was one of the people who discovered me. My first song ever was put on radio by Pro. My first tour ever was with Pro. My first music video was paid for by Pro. We've been at the family home for the past 2 days. It's super hard. It's super hard because he gave me a chance. I just feel like the industry failed him. I feel like the only refuge we have is that the people loved him. And that's all we'll hold on to. And I know we're going to work super hard. You know, people are distraught, people are broken, but, you know, he left a legacy behind. I'm one of the first female rappers out of Soweto to rap in vernac, and it was because of Ulinda. So, yeah, condolences to the family, and I think his legacy definitely lives on, and I'm hoping his daughter decides to rap. Yeah, so, yeah, it's been hard.
So what's the one thing that you'd say from the experience that you've had with him that you can say, okay, I'm going to remember this moment so much about Pro?
I was 16 and we were traveling on the road, and I had never performed in front of people, and it was out in Nkomasi, and he had asked me to, you know, curtain open for him to go out and perform first. And I went out and everyone was looking at me like, who's this girl? And no one was being responsive. And he cut the music and he got onto stage and he was like, if you guys don't cheer for this girl, if I'm supposed to stage in, I'm going to perform. And literally people were forced to cheer me on while I was performing with him on stage, hyping me up until his performance. So I think that fight, you know, the fight for the young black African child is what Pro stood for. He localized hip hop. He was the father of, you know, Soweto when it comes to that. And I feel like he deserves something great, like a monument in Soweto or something of that sort, because he inspired so many of us. And, you know, from the family, I know definitely a shout out to everyone who came yesterday to the parents' home. That was, it was amazing. He touched so many lives, and I'm still to hear something bad about Ulinda. And I think where he is, he's happy.
Well, we thank you so much for coming to Trendz and sharing your experiences with him and talking to us about this hip-hop concert that's coming up in September.
Thank you.
So is there any, are there any new things that we should look out for? Because we know that the unlock stage is big.
It's
like
crazy.
When they unlock things, you're like, whoa. So have you guys already started preparing for that?
We've
September's around the corner.
Yeah, we've started preparing. There are going to be medleys. There's going to be graffiti. They're going to be dancers. They're going to be producers, and these are all females for the very first time. So shout out to Castle Lights. Shout out to DNA Brand Architects. They're really, really making it worthwhile. And finally, we have the South African female voice, standing tall, standing proud, and we're able to really embrace the culture in the way we see fit. So shout out to them. Shout out to you guys for having us.
Well, shout out to you. We definitely look forward to coming through to this concert. That was Gigi Lemmy speaking to us about an all-female concert that's coming up on the 8th of September at the Gallagher Convention Center. You definitely don't want to miss it. Now, the 5th installment of 100% Design South Africa opened earlier this week. We spent Women's Day there to celebrate the amazing females who create some of the most beautiful interior objects for your home and office. Let's take a look. When it comes to sourcing the best residential, office and hospitality designs, the Gallagher Convention Center is where it's happening this week.
100% Design South Africa is about contemporary design aimed at the hospitality and residential and office market. And it's a very dynamic industry. We have incredible design in this country. Most of the exhibitors on this show are South African designers. And it's a very buoyant industry. And we export all over the world. And I think it's really underrated how amazing our design is in this country. I wish more people were aware of the amazing talent and creativity we have here.
Every year, the showroom comes alive with a wide array of designs. Local and international designers use this platform to launch their new products and collections.
It has been an incredible journey to have the opportunity and platform to showcase my work, and so that it was my first exhibition for people to actually come in touch with my products and get to feel them, because I am an online store. So it has been the greatest exposure ever. So they're doing a very great job curating South African young designers.
As a woman, it's wonderful to see how various young designers have grown over the many years, and specifically coming into their own within the textile industry. We've got so many young upstart companies now where women are really shining and receiving the acknowledgements that they deserve within the textiles.
Textile design is a firm favorite trend that should definitely be looked into this season.
There's always a story within my products that tie in or resonate with the viewer. and I'm all about the preservation of culture and bringing culture in a contemporary home. So I try to tell stories through functional objects of beauty.
What we're seeing at the moment is a move towards materials and design. We're moving away from quite a lot of pattern to really great textures. I think people are on their screens all day, so they're now looking at low-tech materials like brick, rattan. We've got a lot of furniture here that you know, an old-fashioned material is now becoming trendy again. Luxury carpets are coming back, and that's because it's got this lovely tactility. Wood, very important. People always understand how amazing wood is, and when you see the craftsmanship of some of our designers and what they're capable of doing in wood. So the trend is really moving towards things that are extremely well made, often with one material.
Currently, I'm loving the vintage colors that they've got, especially your burgundies, even this lovely blue of yours that you've got here, and your deep mustard colors as well. I love those quite a lot.
I'm more into earthy colors. I think those are timeless. You know, it's not seasonal, so any time of the year, earthy colors are for me, definitely.
If you have spotted or maybe want to take a look at these trendy interior designs, head out to the Gallagher Convention Center this weekend and catch the last days of this decorative experience.
Come here, man. This place is looking a mess.
Boss, you holding the plans upside down.
Don't talk back. Lamba, you fired.
Unfair dismissal. Let Clientele Legal tackle your labor issues for you. We have tough, professional lawyers standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. SMS DEFEND to 32281 and we'll call you back. SMS now.
News at 9. We go beyond the headlines of the day and breaking news to bring you all the angles and in-depth analysis of stories that impact your life. We are on the ball with all economic stories. Our bureaus around the globe are ready to connect you to events as and when they happen. So join us every day at 9 to zoom in on the day's big stories.
Is he facing conspiracy? What is the nature of the corruption charges that he faces? But if it's a blatant kind of corruption case, he faces a potential 15 years in prison. And lest we forget, his father is in the dock in a few weeks' time, also facing corruption charges. So those parallels between father and son and the regime change in South Africa and what's happening with our courts at the moment will be something that is profoundly interesting, I think, to all South Africans.
We've now passed the National Youth Policy, which guides all departments, because when you talk about youth development, you're not just talking about what the NYDA must do. It's what every other department must do. Sports and recreation, social development, the police and everybody else.
We need a solution. We need, if need be, let the president address us once a month and tell us what is he doing about youth unemployment.
Political consciousness that those young brave leaders had. You would remember very well that it was rife politically in the...
It's not actually operating in compliance with our rules and regulations. We really take stern action.
We all have a responsibility as South Africans to play our part in strengthening our democracy and building an ever better and prosperous South Africa.
Join your host, JJ Tabani, on Frankly Speaking every Sunday at 8:30.
Welcome back. The Film Factory is back with a brand new feature. Film duo Ivan Botha and Donnelly Roberts take center stage once again as they release their latest offering, Stroom Up, which is a riveting survival tale set on the bank of the Orange River. The film premiered recently at a lavish event in Monte Casino in Fourways. Take a look.
Stroom Up tells the amazing survival story of 5 women who must fight their inner demons to combat their outer ones.
Therapy.
is 'n geleentheid om ons kliënte bloot te stel aan 'n wêreld wat hulle nie normaalweg sou ervaar nie.
Julle is nie ernstig nie. Dis veldskool.
Dames,
Is julle reg vir hierdie avontuur?
Wat is die ergste wat kan gebeur?
'n Saamsteek, infeksie, verdrink, slange, 'n klem in die kop, toiletpapier.
welkom by die Oranje Rivier. Behalwe vir plase in die noorde.
The idea was born 3 years ago where we said that we wanted to make a film where there's a female heroine. And I say this with a lot of respect. Some of my favorite films have male heroes, but very few films have female characters that are strong and that are not defined by what the world expects from you, and who are literally willing to be brave enough to swim upstream in this river that we call life. And little did we know, or could we ever have predicted, that 3 years later, in the same year that we would make and release our film, that women worldwide would be swimming upstream. Worldwide, on every all over the world, women are standing up for themselves and going, this is who I am, this is who I was made to be, and this is my voice.
The film also marks the directorial debut for Ivan Botha, who also co-wrote the story. Botha has starred in multiple films, showcased his talents on local drama Seven Delan, but it is the very first time the actor has turned director and stepped behind the camera.
I think we planned very well. Obviously there were a lot of unforeseen moments, as there will always be, especially on a journey such as Strumop, shooting in the wilderness, on the Orange River, on water. But we did a lot of planning. Myself and Tom Array, the DOP, and my team, we really planned well, and so that we were prepared for anything that changes. And there's a lot of moments in the film that I go, that's exactly what I envisioned. And then there's moments that I go, I wish I had a little bit more time. That's always going to be there. And then there's moments which I enjoy the most, which are, wow, I could not have planned and asked for something bigger and more. So, it's a mixture of all of those things that make an organic film at the end of the day, an honest process, hopefully.
The film comes at a time when South African women are stepping up and speaking out against gender-based violence, and exhibits a multi-part of talent from female voices who believe strongly in the themes that surround the film.
Every single woman in this film, anyone can relate to. Everyone knows someone with a broken heart. Everyone knows someone who's lost someone to death. Everyone knows someone with self-image issues. So I think it's little diamonds that every single person watching this film will be able to take home with them and shine.
I play the character of Vivian in the film, and Vivian is a data analyst. She's very lonely. She's depressed to the point of suicide, and when she does try to commit suicide, she ends up in therapy eventually. And then from there on, she's surrounded with these other, I want to say fragile but strong women, and they go on this journey, and she gets out on the other side victorious, and she overcomes her biggest fears and her anxieties, and she steps into who she was actually created to be.
Well, a first of its kind, a makeup lovers workshop showcasing various makeup techniques to transform your bland makeup job into the ultimate face beat. This workshop has featured industry experts from across the country. Take a look.
It's a Women's Day filled with inspiration and creativity, where the Barnyard Theatre at Gold Reef City in Johannesburg played host. Face It Makeup brings together renowned artists to share some of their trade secrets and aid in beautifying South African women naturally.
Today is the Makeup Lovers Masterclass workshop. It's our first event outside of our studio, and I chose to host it because there are so many great makeup artists in South Africa. There's such good talent. But people stick to who they're comfortable with, and sometimes they can't get in contact with other makeup artists who are busy. So I thought if we get everybody under one roof, we can try and meet the requirements of what clients are looking for. So the look that I went for was a very natural look. I'm a big believer in everything natural. I feel like we as human, we've come from nature, from earth, and we've completely disconnected from that. And makeup is an art, and you don't need to do art every day. It's one thing if you're on TV or if you're a performer, but for everyday makeup, sometimes people, because of the amount of information that's out there on the internet with makeup these days, people have lost their natural ability. So people aren't really doing natural makeup anymore, although they want to. And so I chose the natural look. Very glowy, dewy skin, focusing more on making my model still look like herself.
Kewen, who has worked in the industry for over 13 years, tells us about some of the latest trends and the much-loved smoky eye.
Smoky eye is timeless. It's very similar to your typical 50s look, the Marilyn wing liner, red lip. Your smoky eye with a nude lip is always going to be timeless. It's always going to be a look that people want to do. But there's so many trends on the market going around at the moment. From baking to brows to lashes to glow to contour. It just never really stops. There's always something new that's coming out. So it's as an artist, part of your job is to just roll with it.
Neil Ramatur has been dubbed the celebrity makeup artist, having worked with the likes of Priyanka Chopra, past and present Miss South Africa's Bonang, and the list goes on. Ramatur showcased his crafty work with a look for the modern bride.
I decided to do something that is trend related, something that's the public has seen on Instagram and stuff like that, but a more affordable way to do it, and also a way that is much more easier. Because most of the time when people see stuff on social media, they don't know how to do it, and there's a lot of parts that are left out in the actual tutorial. So I'm going to give them the inside scoop on that.
According to Naidu, the workshop is the first of many and hopes to take the event to Durban and Cape Town if the demand continues to grow.
Well, that's a makeup workshop that I should definitely be attending. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the 6th annual Vavasati International Festival that's taking place at the State Theatre. You don't want to miss this.
You fired!
Unfair dismissal. Car accident. Court appearance. Let Trendz Legal tackle your legal problems. Whether it is a car accident, unfair dismissal, uncontested divorce, unfair blacklisting, or a wrongful arrest, we have tough professional lawyers standing by to assist you.
With the help of Trendz Legal, I kept my job and I can support my family.
I definitely got value for money. It didn't cost me a cent, just my monthly premium.
There was one man with his lawyer against a big bank and I won.
Car accident. Faulty goods or bad service?
You fired!
Unfair dismissal. No matter how big or small your legal problems, don't tackle them by yourself. Trendz Legal will do the tough work for you. SMS RIGHT to 32281 and we'll call you back.
SABC News can reveal just how easy it is to buy explosives used in these robberies.
The very worrying factor is that very few arrests have been made.
Uma bazizinto ngami engingazazi mina ngazi izinto ngabo abanye abazaziyo bona ukuthi zinjani. Angifuni bazenze bahle ngegama lami.
Sia Kolisi comes out. Skipper number 61 for South Africa. The first black South African captain.
Need to know more about the markets? This is where it all starts. At the SABC's headquarters in Auckland Park in Johannesburg, South Africa. Our team work tirelessly to make sure you are on top of the markets. We analyze, report, crunch the numbers, call in the experts, package the news, and bring you critical global market updates from the JSE.
We'll unpack exactly what's shaping markets.
They are in tune, and they are your team making sense of the markets every day on SABC News.
as democracy matures, we get into discussing very, very sensitive issues.
I think that there's a lot of people that are applauding it. I'm sure it's going to be appealed.
It is the beginning of a long journey of South Africa fighting racism.
That sticky label of being a white party, so to speak, doesn't seem to want to go away.
So the competition actually helps, and it brings out winning in total.
Stay tuned to Media Monitor every Sunday from 9 a.m.
SABC News celebrates Women's Month.
Welcome back to Trendz. The 6th annual Vavasati International Festival is currently underway in Pretoria, celebrating women in performing arts. The festival seeks to make a contribution to society, to female voices and women from various walks of life, while encouraging them to tell their stories. Today in studio, we are joined by a poet, Afrika, who will also be performing at the festival. Welcome to Trendz.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
That was an amazing rendition that you did for us. How did you get into poetry?
Well, I would like to say it was by default. My late uncle, Godfrey, he was a first language English teacher, and he was just fascinated by the arts. And I was perusing through his varsity pictures, and I came across this very frozen theatrical moment, you know, percussions and, you know, facial expressions. I loved it so much, and I just wanted to be part of that. And on the other hand, it was my late grandfather. He would while away time reading Sepedi novels, and to see that, you know, tradition going on, you know, between the two languages, Sepedi and English, I wanted to be part of that. And later on in the years, I wrote a public speech, entered a competition, and after that I wanted to hear what my English uncle, if he would approve or not. And I performed my heart out, and he was like, no man, that was not a public speech, it was a poem. And I was like, oh, okay. Then it started then. You know, that was back in 1999. I'm still young, but yeah. So it's been 19 years, and professionally since 2005.
And since then, you've fused it into so many works. Tell us a bit about how you've added the jazz sounds into it. Where are you taking it?
Well, jazz, you know, growing up and wanting to do this performing thing full time, you know, we started a band. So the band, we wanted to understand the music business. We wanted to understand the showbiz, you know. And it was important for me to learn music, you know. Uska fitla rehearsaling and then bare Toma Pina go G, you don't even understand. Let's go to C section, you don't know what's going on. So I went to like a local school, they were teaching music. Heki Fita, it was jazz. And I fell in love with jazz, and I fused the two, and I've never stopped ever since. And we opened a non-profit, and it's called Hear My Voice, to encourage young people to write, you know, uncensored, express themselves, talk about social ills. And now Hear My Voice is like me extended, because with a showcase for the Vavasati, we are fusing the jazz and the poetry. And that's it, yeah. So I love working with women. I've always loved working with women because I started there, you know, with other organizations that I co-founded as well, also pushing women to be instrumentalists and to be full-time into the music business. So Hear My Voice will be showcasing at the Vavasati, and our production is called Bodies Under Siege, you know, with 4 powerful poets. We have Wazi M. Kunene, we have Emma Mabie, and we have Sipokazi Jonas, and then we have Vuyelwa Maluleke. I mean, like, those are poetry powerhouses, you know. And I will be narrating their showcase, you know, starting from where women, like the patriarchal systems, where it started, how we have been, because of women's bodies are really under siege in South Africa. I mean, statistics to show us that 63 women being killed in 30 days, that is shocking. So bodies under siege will be, you know, confronting all of those issues. The reality that, you know, ever since this Trendz now started, you know, when you say the show is over, there will be more than 10 women and young girls raped. So it's a scary statistic. So Bodies Under Siege confronts that through poetry and jazz. So we'll also be having an all-female jazz band, you know, accompanying the poets. So yeah, it's a very, very sober, you know, topic that we must confront. You know, we're standing our ground, and we are confronting society, you know, bit by bit, for us to be talking, you know, to the higher decision-making bodies in the country and demanding to face them, because I believe that we are ready. We have been all of this. We have been through all of this, and we want our voices to be heard, and for those people to really make decisions, to say, we hear you, and then we are making decisions to make all of these things that you are suggesting into a reality. We don't want talk shop anymore, but we want to see us, you know, walking the streets at peace, you know, not being afraid of our husbands, of our boyfriends, you know, that they will burn our bodies, that, you know, they will hit us, we'll wear layers of makeup, not by choice, but because of, you know, our spouses, you know, are physically abusing us. So Bodies Under Siege.
Wow, we certainly can't wait to see it. It sounds like a moving production. When is it starting?
The 18th, we only have one day, the 18th of August at the South African State Theatre, 7 o'clock.
Hopefully you're going to take this production and tour it around South Africa so that you can spread the message more, right?
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming to Trendz. We know that you're going to be performing for us a little bit later on. Now, that was Mo Africa telling us about the 6th annual Vavasati Festival that's taking place at the State Theatre. Well, Grammy Award winner, singer and songwriter Anthony Hamilton is returning to South Africa for a one-night-only Soulful Night concert, where he promises to serenade music lovers with sing-alongs and two-stepping through his hits like Best of Me, Pass Me Over. I know which some of the songs that you'll be jamming to at the concert will be held at the Sun Arena at the Times Square on Menlyn in Tshwane on the 24th of this month. Let's take a look.
Woke up this morning, found a letter that she wrote. She said she's tired, that I'm always on the road.
He has been in the country before, where he gave a spectacular performance. And this time he assures his fans to always give his all. With the full live band and the best backup singers, Hamilton promises to leave it all on the table with his timeless voice.
Dear God, if you're listening now, did you do a thing for me? You see my baby.
Hailed as the King of Soul, Anthony Hamilton describes the upcoming Soulful Night concert as a night where music and people meet and memories will be created.
Priority. Dear God, if you're listening now, down here dying.
Well, to close the show for us is Mo Africa Amokhati with another poem. Do follow us on @Trendz on SABC. From myself and the Trendz team, we'll see you again same time, same place next week. It's a goodbye from us.
When your mother is a commander who lose young men and women to fight for freedom, too feeble for their hands to grasp, too far first. And when your mother is a brigadier who starves hand grenades in her head wrap to pull them out when shit hits the fan, It's vibrations that trod through generations. And when your mother is Winnie Nomsamo Madikizela Wagwamandela, you stand as one but come as many. For when she goes, she multiplies. And we are born of great women. Rebelagwa ke basadi di kwangkwetla, basadi di tswerere, ba wema ka sebete, ga ba eme ka matsetseleko gobane ba ikwishisha. I am born of great women. Basadi ba go ikwishisha, basadi ba o bolela bophelo, pounama tša bona ke tša go tsoša ba ba ileng badimong. I am born of warrior woman of fortitude. And when your mother is a brigadier, a commander who lose young men and women to fight for freedom, you are bound to be great.